Anti-Defamation League launches watch on Mayor Mamdani. Court lets Florida limit Chinese property buyers, and ChatGPT is no longer giving medical, legal, or financial advice. I'm Kat Pokras, and this is News Recap. Zoran Mamdani is New York City's new mayor. He beat former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and his victory has everyone talking. Mamdani connected with young voters, working-class immigrants, and neighborhoods Democrats usually ignore. He also made gains in Black and Latino communities. More than 2 million New Yorkers voted. It's the most in decades. Not everyone is thrilled, though. A recent poll found hundreds of thousands of residents say they'd leave the city if Mamdani takes office, calling his New York a disaster. High earners, older voters, and Staten Islanders are uneasy. Meanwhile, progressives are celebrating, and the Democratic Socialists of America call his win a model for the future. Nationally, his victory is shaking Democrats, while Republicans use it as a warning about the party's leftward shift. President Trump, who has called Mamdani a communist, said at the American Business Forum, quote, "Let's see how a communist does in New York. We'll help them. We want New York to be successful," end of quote. In the meantime, the Anti-Defamation League is launching a Mamdani monitor and a tip line to track anti-Semitism. The ADL will watch his policies and appointments and provide a way for residents to report incidents. Mamdani said he takes anti-Semitism incredibly seriously and plans to work with Jewish leaders to protect and celebrate the community. Following Zoran Mamdani's historic win in New York, another milestone for Democrats. Mary Sheffield will be Detroit's next mayor and the first woman to lead the city. Sheffield defeated popular megachurch pastor, the Reverend Solomon Kinloch, and will take office in January, succeeding three-term Mayor Mike Duggan, who is running for Michigan governor. Sheffield inherits a city on the rise since exiting the largest municipal bankruptcy in the U.S. history. In 2014, Detroit has seen improved city services, historically low violent crime, balanced budgets for 12 years, and modest population growth. At 38, Sheffield has served on city council since 2013 and as council president since 2022. She says her priorities will be education, public safety, and building neighborhoods across the city. Her win, endorsed by Duggan, signals continuity for Detroit while marking a historic step forward for women in leadership. Following New York and Detroit, another big win for Democrats. Abigail Spanberger is Virginia's new governor, beating Republican Winsome Earl Sears. She outraised her opponent and did not need President Trump's endorsement to win, which Earl Sears had, by the way. Spanberger will be Virginia's first female governor. Her campaign focused on the economy and local issues, reaching moderate voters. Northern Virginia has many federal workers, and recent Trump-era workforce cuts and the government shutdown were part of the conversation. A former congresswoman and Central Intelligence Agency case officer, Spanberger's win gives Democrats control of Virginia's governor's office and could provide a model for winning back power in Washington and state houses next year. And another win for Democrats. Mikey Sherrill is New Jersey's new governor, beating Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Sherrill, a former Navy helicopter pilot and four-term member of Congress, focused her campaign on health care and economy and immigration. She quickly said her win sends a message to President Trump and his policies. Ciattarelli had Trump's endorsement, but he congratulated Sherrill without mentioning the president. Her victory shows Democrats are still strong in New Jersey, a state that had shown signs of moving right. This is yet another big Democratic win, which signals momentum for the party heading into next year's election. Investigators are reviewing video from Tuesday's UPS plane crash in Louisville, Kentucky, to figure out what happened. The footage shows flames on the left wing and tail engine as the plane tried to take off. At least 9 people died, and the number may rise. The left engine appears to have fallen off, possibly damaging the tail engine. With both engines out, the fully loaded plane carrying packages and jet fuel could not get enough lift, and losing an engine also affects balance, making flight nearly impossible. Authorities are focused on recovering the left engine and the cockpit voice and data recorders. These black boxes will be examined in Washington, D.C. to show how the plane was operating and what the pilots experienced before the crash. The government shutdown has now entered its 36th day, set to become the longest in U.S. history. Senators from both parties are quietly working on a deal to fund key government programs and extend Affordable Care Act subsidies. Democrats hope their recent election wins, including governor races in Virginia and New Jersey and Zoran Mamdani's New York City mayoral victory, give them leverage. Republicans say the shutdown is hurting their party politically, though some downplay the impact. President Trump has called on GOP senators to end the filibuster to speed a solution, but Senate leaders say there aren't enough votes to change the rules. The Supreme Court is deciding whether President Trump had the power to impose big tariffs on goods from countries like China, Canada, and Mexico. The case could affect prices for American shoppers, U.S. businesses, and presidential powers. Trump used a 1977 law meant for emergencies to set tariffs from 10 to over 100%. Critics say the law doesn't give the president the right to tax imports and that the emergencies he cited aren't real crises. Economists say the tariffs have raised prices for consumers and made it harder for businesses to operate. Some small companies report losses and hiring freezes, while Trump says foreign companies pay the tariffs. Most of the cost falls on U.S. importers and shoppers. If the court rules against Trump, the government could owe billions in refunds. If it rules for him, it would give the president much more power over trade. A decision is expected by June 2026. A U.S. appeals court has allowed Florida to enforce a law limiting property purchases by Chinese citizens. The court rejected claims that the law breaks federal rules or targets agents. The 2-to-1 ruling could inspire other states to pass similar laws. More than 30 states have considered or passed bills restricting foreign property ownership. The court said the 4 Chinese citizens suing don't have standing because they live in Florida and are not domiciled in China. The court also said the law does not conflict with federal rules and is motivated by national and land security. The law bars Chinese citizens without U.S. citizenship or green cards from buying property in Florida. Some visa holders and asylum recipients can buy a single property up to 2 acres and at least 5 miles from military bases. Governor Ron DeSantis said the law protects Americans from influence by the Chinese Communist Party. One judge disagreed, saying foreign investment rules are a federal issue. Chrysler is recalling over 320,000 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees because their plug-in hybrid batteries could fail, creating a fire risk even while parked. Chrysler has received 19 reports of fires and 1 injury so far. Owners are being told to park outside and away from structures and not to charge their vehicles until a fix is available. Notification letters are expected by December 2nd, with more updates once repairs are ready. At the same time, Toyota is recalling more than 1 million vehicles over faulty rear-view cameras that may go blank or freeze, increasing crash risk. Owners should visit their dealer for free software update with notifications expected by December 16th. For more information, contact Chrysler or Toyota customer service. An Oklahoma sex offender was arrested in New York after 13 years on the run. He had enrolled at a college under a fake name, allegedly faking his own abduction in 2012 to avoid facing new charges. 44-year-old Anthony Lennon had been on Oklahoma's 10 most wanted list. He was first convicted in 2008 for possessing child pornography and was out on a suspended sentence when new charges were filed in 2012. Authorities say he staged a bloody abduction scene at his former workplace to cover his disappearance. Lennon was living under the name of Justin Phillips and enrolled at the State University of New York in fall 2024. Fingerprints revealed his true identity when he was arrested. Authorities are continuing to investigate, and Lennon now faces the pending Oklahoma charges. George Barnett, a pastor in Mississippi, shot an escaped monkey after spotting it near a highway. The monkey was one of 3 that ran away after a truck carrying 21 research primates overturned in Jasper County before Halloween. Barnett is the second local resident to shoot an escaped monkey. One animal is still missing, and authorities warn it could be dangerous. Early reports falsely claimed that the monkeys carried diseases like COVID and hepatitis C, but it was later confirmed that they were healthy after all. Animal rights groups criticized the accident and want more transparency. Prelabs, the company responsible, says it is cooperating with authorities and reviewing safety procedures. ChatGPT is no longer given medical, legal, or financial advice. OpenAI says the AI will now focus on education after several risky incidents. As of October 29th, ChatGPT cannot give treatment, guidances, medication names, court strategies, or investment tips. It can explain general ideas and tell users to speak with a doctor, lawyer, or financial professional. The change comes after real-world problems. A man got sick from following ChatGPT's advice about replacing table salt with sodium bromide. Earlier, a California lawsuit involved a teen who died after using ChatGPT. Researchers warn AI can give wrong information, misdiagnose patients, and spread misinformation. A JAMA pediatric study found that ChatGPT got 72 out of 100 pediatric cases wrong, with another 11 too vague to be useful. OpenAI says the new rules are meant to keep people safe and prevent harm, shifting the AI from consultant to educational tool. A historian's hunch led to an amazing discovery at Salt Lake City's Japanese Church of Christ. The congregation found a century-old time capsule hidden in the cornerstone, revealing the history of the city's once thriving Japantown. The 101-year-old church, one of only 2 buildings left from the neighborhood, held a metal box with hand-sewn flags, Bibles, local newspapers in English and Japanese, the church's articles of incorporation, and a list of Sunday school teachers. Among the items was a Japanese Bible given to founding member Lois Hyde Hashimoto by her mother in 1906, and an English Bible placed by her father when he was 13. Hashimoto's grandchildren held both Bibles for the first time. Japantown, once home to 90 businesses, declined during World War II when residents were sent to internment camps, and again in the 90s when downtown development pushed out most businesses. Today, only a few street signs, a small Japanese garden, and 2 religious centers remain. And that is all for now. The top stories of the day, no fluff and straight to the point. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. I'm Kat Fakris, and I'll see you next time.